Hi guys, today I'm going to be swatching the Finger Paints Special Effects collection for you, and these are the first three colors. This is Asylum, Flashy, and Flecked, and then the last two colors are Motley and Twisted. And in the bottle, it's really hard to see any difference between the five, but you'll see as I swatch them over a few different colors, and black in particular, that they really are completely different. Also, just to mention, I'm wearing Motley on my nails over Revlon Dreamer. I'm not sure if it's really coming across on camera. In fact, this is a really good example of how they're way more impressive over a dark color. But even over a lighter color, they add some subtle shimmer. So in addition to black, I'm also going to be swatching them over white. And then I'm also going to be swatching them each over an additional color. And just to mention, you guys may notice I have a darker background than normal. Someone suggested that my autofocus may work better with a darker background. And I did find that it made these colors at least pop out more. So I decided to use it for this video. The black that I'm using here is Finger Paints Black Expressionism, and this is the black that was in the display with the special effects colors, so it's kind of intended to be used as the base. It's a very nice black, really good coverage in just one coat. The white that I'm using here is Orly Eau Champagne, just a little bit of a pearly white. And then just to quickly go over these colors, this first one is Revlon Naughty. Then the red is Orly Ma Cherie. The green is Orly Wandering Vine. The blue is Ruby Kisses Blue Pearl. And the brown is Ulta Chocolate Kisses. So I just kind of picked those out. I thought they went well with the different colors and would just give you guys an idea of how you can make some different combinations. So the first one I'm going to start out with here is Asylum. And hopefully you can see a little bit in the bottle there that you get a lot of kind of red and blue shimmer. The red is a little bit orangey. But as I apply it over black, I mean, it's totally going to change. If you have never used a flaky polish before, they're really one of the funnest polishes to use because, I mean, they are kind of so surprising sometimes when you layer them over other colors. So there's Asylum over black, and you can really see how the colors start to pop out. The next one is going to be Flashy, and in Flashy you can see a lot of orange, and like I said, they're not going to be real different in the bottle, but if you hold them right next to each other, it is possible to tell the difference. And once you put them over a darker color like black, they are completely different. So there you can see. This one reminds me a lot of Hidden Treasure. So if you have been on the lookout for that and haven't been able to find it, you may want to give this a try. And depending on if you want, you know, more or less flakies, just make a thicker or thinner coat. Next is Flecked. And in the bottle you can see a lot of almost a glowing green. So let me get this open here. And over black, this one is really one of my favorites. The green just pops out so bright that, I mean, how can you not love that? And a lot of these colors too, I'm not sure how much it's going to come across on camera, but they shift depending on what angle you're looking at them. They're definitely all duochromes. So that's another plus in their favor as far as I'm concerned. Fourth, we have Motley, And Motley is like kind of a blue and turquoise, kind of a little bit of green, but really more blue and turquoise. So the first two kind of go together, Asylum and Flashy, and then Flecked and Motley also kind of go together, in my opinion. So there you can see the blue and turquoise. And the fifth and final color is Twisted. And Twisted is just a rainbow of all different colors. This is probably my second favorite of the group, right behind Flecked. And as I apply it over black here, I think you'll see why. I'm personally not into like multicolored glitters, but something about this, I mean, flakies aren't glitters, but they're similar. Something about this I just really, really like. So there are all 5 colors layered over black. And now I'm going to move on to white. And over white, honestly, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. If you are just trying to kind of add a tiny bit of sparkle, a tiny bit of iridescence, I mean, it's not like you can't do it, but you can see there that Asylum is just barely visible. And over white is kind of like in the bottle. A lot of them look very, very similar. There we have, which one was that? Flashy. Next, I'm going to apply Flecked. And oddly enough, you may remember Flecked is the green one. Over white, you almost get like pink, which is, like I said, part of the duochrome of these flakies. Next, I'm going to apply Motley over white. It's another one that's very, very pale. And finally, Twisted. So I think Twisted shows up maybe second best over white. You can definitely still see all of the rainbow colors, even though they're kind of more pastel than bright. But like I said, if you want to do it over white, it's possible. Nobody's stopping you, but that would not be my recommendation compared to the black. I mean, why would you want to go so plain? So now I'm just going to show you for fun over a few other colors. I'm going to start out with Asylum over this purple naughty here. And I tried to pick colors that were just kind of complementary in my opinion. So some of these looks are going to be bold and some are going to be a little more subtle. You can see here, I would say this is one of the more subtle ones, if you can say that about any manicure with glitter. Next, I'm going to do Flashy over this red. And this gives a really fiery look, almost kind of like molten lava or something, as you catch a glimpse of those really bright flakies. For Flecked, I decided to go over a dark green. And you can see how the bright green flakes pop on top of that. I mean, the darker of a color you get, obviously, the closer to black you are, the closer you are to that intended effect that Finger Paints wants you to have. Next, I have Motley over this blue. And this gives a very oceany feeling to me. A lot more obvious than it is over this lighter blue on my nail, of course. And finally, I'm going to be doing Twisted over this brown. And I think this would be a great combination for fall. Not that you can't wear it in the winter, but just reminds me of seeing like autumn leaves with so many different colors in the trees. And, you know, just a really gorgeous combination. So there you go, guys, on the nail wheel and on my nails, the Finger Paints Special Effects collection. If you missed my haul video where I talked about how I managed to score all 5 of these colors, I'll include a link for that in the information box. And, you know, I'm not sure if these are going to be limited edition or if they will be added to the core finger paints line, but my recommendation would be, if you like them, if you find them, get them while you can, because you never know with nail polish how long a certain color is going to be around. So when you find one that you really love, you have to, you know, get as much as you can. So I hope you guys all enjoyed, and as always, thanks for watching.